could have done it to where if they were going to take such a risk on a character like that, I mean, hindsight's 2020, but you could have had all these events take place in the first one, and you have like Maul kind of be a background character. You have Jar Jar's complete arc from um, ally to villain at the end of the movie, or you don't even need to have them fight necessarily. You could keep the Darth Maul part in the first, like that fight be the end of the movie, but
Yeah.
reveal at the end of the first one that Jar Jar is really a Sith.
You're listening to Passed Out, the podcast where history, mystery, the occult, and the cosmos collide. Every week we explore new conspiracies, uncover hidden truths, question the impossible, and journey into the unknown. Stay curious, and welcome to Passed Out. Welcome to Passed Out. I'm Josh.
I'm Arash. Today we're going to be talking about Darth Jar Jar, maybe the most hated character in all of Star Wars up until the last 3 episodes.
Yeah,
At least in the
probably.
Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about how I guess there's some new information that's come out about confirming the theory that Jar Jar was supposed to be a Sith Lord, or at least a villain of some sort, and thus making the name the Phantom Menace into something that makes more sense.
Yeah, dude, honestly, my analysis of this rabbit hole that I've gone down this week has made me appreciate the Phantom Menace more than I ever have. Like, just looking at it through this light that I found myself on, I'm like, okay, if they would have went this route, I think that it would have made the Phantom Menace a better movie. It kept the plans for Attack of the Clones that they had. So, essentially, what happened is George Lucas confirmed that Darth Jar Jar was supposed to be a thing, and he ended up reining it in, and they created Count Dooku in his place, basically, because of how much backlash Jar Jar got from the release of the Phantom Menace. So, what have you seen about it? I've got a lot written down. I'm curious, kind of what your uh,
I've seen
where
some
you found
YouTube
yourself.
videos about it. Yeah, Fortnite even has a skin where Jar Jar is a Sith Lord. You have like the
Oh
option
shit.
of making him into a Sith Lord.
Okay.
Unless if that was like I got trolled into thinking and it was just fan made, but I think uh, you know I think
Yeah.
that's an actual thing. And then in the video, it kind of describes Jar Jar as being a sort of like drunken master,
Mm-hmm.
intentionally goofy.
Yeah.
And there's a few scenes, especially the scene with I forget what the enemies are called, but he's like
The
fighting the
battle
cannons.
droids. The
Yeah,
battle
the
droids at
battle
the
droid.
end. Yeah, where he's like tripping over the wire and it's like killing all of them. Yeah.
And there's certain reactions that he has to things, and he's just always at the right place at the right time. He
Mm-hmm.
does a few Jedi jumps,
Yeah.
um, particularly into the water. He has a keen interest in Anakin when he really there's no reason for him to.
Yeah.
He rises up the ranks immediately. So and also you brought up the Count Dooku. Count Dooku is kind of brought in out of nowhere. So it's like if Dooku wasn't in the Phantom Menace, then what?
Mm-hmm.
Palpatine is the Phantom Menace. It's really
I always took it like Darth Maul was the Phantom Menace, but I
oh
don't know. But
Okay.
like it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Because he wasn't phantom about it at all.
No, he was just like so I guess the emperor is the phantom, like he's the phantom pulling the strings. Like, I don't know.
I get. Oh yeah, because the it's supposed to be some sort of irony because it's a prequel and the audience, even though they've seen what happens in the future, they know what Palpatine. But to the characters in the movie, he is a
Yeah, they have no
phantom. But
idea. Yeah.
but they were very wary of him, weren't they? Wasn't Qui-Gon and wasn't Obi-Wan very?
I think they were weary of like ultimate power, honestly. I think they were more afraid of like what could happen if they turned over, all these powers to any senator, not just him.
I see.
So, um but there's a some of the stuff that I've seen on this is crazy. So, I'm glad you brought up the Drunken Master stuff. I've seen a thing where like they talk about how his stupidity kind of mirrors him being a Jedi, like how Yoda acts real foolish before he reveals himself as a Jedi. In The Empire Strikes Back, he's like fighting with R2D2. He's like, "No, mine," So I saw something on that. I saw a video today that they were talking about how and I don't know how just like accentuated this is or like how much people are leaning into it, but they were like slowing down like Jar Jar like in the background of like all these scenes in Phantom Menace, and they're
Yeah.
like showing how he's like could be using mind powers on these people, and they think that he was
Yes.
using mind powers on Boss Nass, and I was like, this is so wild, and it
And
makes
then
a lot of
there's that one
sense.
scene where he's like hanging off a wall or like a platform, and then but when he comes down, he's all the way on the other side, and you even see the droids. They're aiming their guns at him, and then he just jumps to the other side, and it wasn't like the writing. It wasn't an inconsistency at all because they're still aiming to the side that he was on.
Hmm.
A great job of explaining it. We might have seen the same video.
We may have, but I
Yeah,
just um and then I saw that he's like standing right next to Palpatine at Qui-Gon's funeral.
yeah.
So,
And during the funeral, I think when they show him, well, he is standing next to Palpatine, but it's playing the is it the
Duel of the
Imperial March?
Fates. It's Duel of the
Duel of
Fates.
Fates. Yes,
They're
yes,
playing
yes.
Duel of the Fates, and like Yoda and Obi-Wan are having, and like Mace Windu are having this conversation about there's always two
Yes.
over that exact part. Like also something that like I never really thought of before I saw this today was Palpatine and Jar Jar both being from Naboo. Like that's a whole nother layer to it where I'm like, oh shit, okay. This is it makes too much fucking sense now. And it like really like I said, it really recontextualized the Phantom
Now,
Menace for me.
Naboo is how large is Naboo? It's
I
larger
guess
than
that's a
Earth.
probably maybe the same size as Earth. I don't know. You really only see one city. Here, the thing with these Star Wars I've been thinking about this a lot, but the thing with these Star Wars planets is you really only see like a city or a certain landscape, and like Star Wars makes it seem like the whole planet is this one landscape, and then you go to a different planet. It's not like the Earth where you have like all the landscapes.
Yeah, there's no diversity in their in the
No. Even Coruscant, the entire planet's one giant city, and they just keep building on top of it. There's no ocean, there's no mountains, there's nothing but city levels on
it's always
Coruscant. And
snowing
it's
in Hoth.
yeah, dude. Exactly. Tatooine only has desert. Like so like
Biodiversity, I guess, would you call
yeah.
that?
Yeah. I think Naboo is supposed to kind of look like Italy. Like it kind of
Okay.
like looks like can't think of the city right now, but like it kind of looks like parts of Italy, like off the especially off the coast or like the Greek
Like
coast.
Naples or
Yeah, like
Florence.
yeah. Uh-huh. Florence, yeah, Naples definitely. So, yeah, stuff like that. Like the way the buildings are designed and the way that it like kind of overlooks the ocean, it just feels very um kind of, that part of the sea, but
Now, because the reason I ask is because like, and you bring up, you kind of answer it in a way is that okay, they're from the same planet. They don't necessarily have to know each other, but in the Star Wars world, it seems like it's the planets are more served as countries or like regions rather than,
yes. Uh-huh.
so people from the same planet kind of know each other
Yeah, like the
in
Galactic
a way.
Senate's like the UN almost, like, right?
Right.
Like it's
Yeah.
it's the vibe it gives you. Like you have all these representatives on their little floating thing from like all these different planets. Like that's the fucking UN.
And
So,
so it would be reasonable for Palpatine to put someone from his own planet into um a situation where he could conduct espionage.
yeah, and from that angle, you think about it. Jar Jar's the one who, in Attack of the Clones, like gives the speech and gives him the powers to create the clone army and gives him like the ultimate power that he needs. Like it's Jar Jar that does that.
And is he not doing hand gestures of
Yeah,
like
so
Jedi
like,
mind tricks?
yeah, but I don't know how that the Jedi mind trick works. I don't know. They've never really touched on whether you can like Jedi mind trick an entire fucking like coliseum full of people or a
Well, if
full
he's a
audience
Sith
of something.
Lord,
Yeah, like your powers are just like amplified.
right?
I don't know,
Now,
man. It's
you said
wild.
there is some new information you saw that about a script being leaked, or
No, it was George Lucas talking about it recently in an interview where he said that the plan was for, or maybe, and like Dave Filoni touched on this too, and they said they both have said that the plan was actually supposed to be for Darth Jar Jar to emerge in like the second one as like the apprentice. And since they kind of abandoned that because everybody hated Jar Jar, they just kind of were like, we're just gonna scoot him a little bit more in the background, and then they created like Count Dooku to kind of do what Jar Jar was supposed to do, basically.
and imagine the movies without it. I mean, in a way, the fans, if this is true, you and I agree that the prequel trilogy would have made a lot more sense, and especially Phantom
Yeah,
Menace and
hmm
Attack of the Clones would
I
have
think
been
so
a
too. Yeah,
lot better.
yeah. Now that's not to say that I don't like Count Dooku, and like I love that they got Christopher Lee to do that.
Yeah, we touched
Like
on Christopher Lee
fantastic.
last
Yeah,
week. He's
exactly. Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
But you could have utilized him in a different way. Like
hmm
he could have been what you call like a mid-level boss um, instead of
What they
being the
should
big
have
bad at the
done,
end.
what they could have done is just like made him like Darth Plagueis and like he's not actually dead. He comes back for fucking Palpatine. Could have
And
been
that's the
cool.
thing, you don't see Plagueis.
No, dude, and I recently watched like a whole dude, I've been on a Star Wars kick. I finally beat Jedi Survivor.
Nice.
But I've just been so like entrenched in Star Wars lore, and I dude, I've liked Star Wars since I was like a little kid. I wore the fuck out of the VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, like so Plagueis, so there's like theories that he was like around during the Phantom Menace, and they say that he killed like the night that during the fight, I guess. Um, he had Plagueis had come to his house. So like when all the stuff with like so when Darth Maul was like fighting Qui Gon and Obi-Wan, they made it seem like there's a theory that Plagueis was with
Darth
Darth
Maul.
Sidious at that point. No, yeah, he was with
Okay.
Sidious because he was like Sidious's master, and they were like using Darth Maul basically. And but like during that, like I guess since he had been voted into being the chancellor at that point, that and then all the other stuff happened right after that that they were celebrating. And while they were celebrating, Sidious got Plagueis a little too like fucked up and killed him that night. And like it was like the same, and like there's like a theory that like the night that like Sidious killed Plagueis is like the same night that Darth Maul died.
Oh,
So
but why
yeah,
have
like
all
it
this
all kind of,
off-screen stuff if you're
I don't know.
gonna?
Yeah, and that's why they're there. That's why all this is just theories.
Yeah,
There's not like, and these are, and there's a bunch of stuff in like legends and like stuff that is no longer canon about all of this shit. And who knows how old Plagueis is, but like Anakin's obsessed with he tells Anakin that story about Darth Plagueis not being able to die, and then who knows if Darth Plagueis was actually like Sidious's direct master, because Darth Plagueis they finally show him on screen at the very end of the Acolyte. That's who's it's that weird fucking elongated face guy that's there. That's supposed to be the master of Khmer or the stranger, however you want to fucking call it. Which, dude, Khmer and fucking the Acolyte has one of the cool. He probably has the coolest Sith lightsaber in the fucking series.
yeah. Some
And when
people
it
say that's the
comes
coolest
out,
part of
when
the
it
show.
comes out of the bottom of the other one, and he's got the little dagger, I was like, this is so sick.
Yeah,
So,
the Sith have way better lightsabers than the
they
Jedi.
have way better lightsabers than yeah. No, I agree. Which I feel like I made a pretty fucking sick lightsaber on Survivor. I like that you can like really customize stuff and you find pieces throughout the game and you can like keep fucking with it. So I feel like by the end I was like, all right, my lightsaber's pretty sick right now.
I need to finish that. I started
Dude,
it
it's
and then it goes kind of slow. But back to Jar Jar, and you said Filoni and Lucas touched on it.
yeah.
How far in depth did they go in the interview?
Not a ton, not really much more than what I just said. They
But it
kind
was
of
so it was
gloss
the
over it.
backlash from one. They didn't have like testing audiences. Was it testing audiences that you
I'm
think?
not sure. I don't know. But like they had a lot of backlash to if it was test audiences, they might have been too far into the CGI process and it was hard back then to do CGI. It was a lot.
They could have done it to where if they were going to take such a risk on a character like that, I mean, hindsight's 2020, but you could have had all these events take place in the first one, and you have like Maul kind of be a background character. You have Jar Jar's complete arc from um, ally to villain at the end of the movie, or you don't even need to have them fight necessarily. You could keep the Darth Maul part in the first, like that fight, be the end of the movie, but
Yeah.
reveal at the end of the first one that Jar Jar is really a Sith.
Mhm.
And then that would have redeemed his character in time to
For a second
keep
one,
him.
yeah.
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 Well, they do keep him in Attack of the Clones, but he
Mhm.
really is pushed aside.
Yeah, and the only really big thing he does in Attack of the Clones is like start that vote to give the chancellor at that point like basically powers over the entire Senate so that he can just vote to create the clone army. So,
Wow. I mean,
at the end of both
imagine.
of those movies, he jumps like a fucking just a higher level in power because of these things happening.
That's quick. He's like a Mossad agent,
It's like a genius political Sith. Like he's just like playing, he's just playing crazy chess.
right? And it makes they. I can't believe they still didn't do it. Um, it reminds me now of like if Disney were to be in charge of Lucasfilm at that point, would have they made the change? Because they were pretty stubborn about the last, the latest trilogy that they did. So
I hear that they're starting to retcon parts of the new trilogy now.
I've been hearing that too.
Yeah, so I'm like,
But how are they going to retcon it? Are they going to essentially like future movies not reference them, or does that mean they're planning to make more movies in the
what
Skywalker
if
saga
I think they're making more movies in the
or
Skywalker saga?
shows?
I think, well, we have a fucking movie that's about to be like in the same timeline as those movies, but coming out pretty soon. So,
Wait, is
um,
it?
Starfighter?
Yeah.
Huh? I think they might be using Starfighter to fucking retcon some of this shit, bro. Which could be super fucking cool, man.
I didn't know that. So we know
Yeah, dude,
nothing
I'm pretty
really.
fucking sure. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure like Starfighter is supposed to take place after Episode 9. So,
I see.
yeah,
I wonder if they're gonna make it to like a de facto episode 10. You think that's what they're doing
maybe,
with it?
probably.
Because when the first obviously when New Hope came out, it wasn't known as episode 4, right?
No, it was just called Star Wars. It wasn't even called A New Hope.
But yeah, that's right.
Yeah, dude.
What
When did they add A New Hope to it?
was that during the when they announced the prequel trilogy that they changed the
I
episode
think
titles?
it's possible that they did, and like we were just like little kids at that. Like we were just kids, like. Dude, that was so. That's probably why I love Star Wars so much. Is because like they re-released them in theaters in the late '90s, leading up to like Episode 1, and I'd been watching all that on VHS. But then like being able to like, I feel like I have a more visceral experience when I see a movie in a theater, and I feel like movies that I really like, I saw them in theaters, and I was like not distracted by anything. I was really able to like invest myself into it, and like I got connected to it, and I feel
Mhm.
that way about Star Wars because like we saw Star Wars in the fucking movie theaters.
Yeah, I was 12, I think,
Yeah,
when
dude, I was
started.
like,
So
yeah, I was like 10 or 11, and like they're like released, we were able to go watch these movies again. So I was like 13 when I think I was 12 or 13 when did Phantom Menace come out actually? Is that 99? I was
Phantom
11.
Menace was 99.
Yeah, so okay,
And
so I was
then
11.
2005 was, I think, episode 3 because I
Yeah,
was a
and it
senior in
was
high school. So it's like it grew up with us at a very
mhm.
pivotal point of our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
I could only imagine how people with the original trilogy were when they were like 13 in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, dude, I'm like my dad was 10 when Star Wars came out.
Damn, my dad was like in his 30s already. Old man. Love you, Pops. But yeah, he
Yeah,
was
dude,
like
my dad is
31.
young, bro. I was, dude, my dad knocked up my mom when he was like 19
Okay,
with
yeah.
me. So my parents are young.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think? How do you think they're going to retcon the last trilogy? Is it going to be like full retcon? Are you going to see CGI recreations of Luke, Leia, Han?
I'm not sure.
Are they even going to bring the characters back?
I don't know, man. Who knows? Like that's why that's why there's such a mystery around it. I can't wait until we see a fucking trailer for this movie. Like, all
Because
you really know is like Ryan Gosling and an X-wing.
the way Han went out, it seemed um, Harrison Ford was fine with it. Other
Yeah,
than
he
the
wanted to be killed off.
but minus the fact that Luke, Leia, and Han never reunited, which
Yeah.
was the most tragic part and kind of the fucking point, right? That's kind of the fucking point of the movie.
No, I agree with you. Like, if you're gonna do it, like, just otherwise, you should have just done it in a whole different fucking time period of Star Wars and just been like, this is a new Star Wars trilogy that has nothing to do with the original.
It's so weird, man. Kind of like, yeah, the way the Mandalorian did it was right, even though it takes place obviously prior to the
Yeah,
to 6, 7, or 6, 7, 7, 8, 9.
89. Yeah, it takes place right like Mandalorian's like happening like right after the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, but they bring out Luke as kind of like a cameo, and you could argue that they used Leia and Han as cameos in the movies, and like you essentially have Han being in a majority of 7, Leia. Well, I guess Luke episode 8, Leia more episode 9, even though she was pretty
Hmm.
heavy in 8.
What's crazy to me is how they did 9. Like Carrie Fisher dies while filming 8. And then they were just like, we're going to rebuild all of 9 around the footage of her that we have.
And
Why?
that's what I'm talking about. They're so
Why? Like,
stubborn that they
why? Like, why don't you just let her die when she flies out of the fucking ship in The Last Jedi? Why do you have to like rewrite the next movie around the footage that you have of her character? It's crazy.
yeah. Do you think we'll see Luke in Starfighter?
I don't think so.
No.
But maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think so.
I mean, it was kind of a huge surprise at the end of The Mandalorian. Like, they kept that under the wraps.
Oh yeah, they did. That was a huge fucking secret. And like, dude, and what's crazy to me is like you see their de-aging technology and you're like, "Oh, this is pretty good." But then you see a deep fake that's fucking better and you're like, "Okay, these fucking people on the internet are crazy." But the guy who did the deep fake of that looked better, they hired him to work at Lucas. So so I think that's pretty cool. What's I hate to admit this, but I've been watching a lot of I keep seeing like these like 4 to 10 minute like AI clips that are just like making Star Wars so much better. They're like,
Yeah.
this is a conversation between Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker, just watching like the holodeck tapes of Anakin on her ship. She's like, do you want to meet your father? Like who he was when he was my master? And like, I'm just like, these are the most, why are these like AI fucking videos making me feel more nostalgic for fucking Star Wars than shit that they actually fucking make at Disney?
It's because they hire a lot of people who aren't like
Passionate
mega
about the
fans.
fucking craft. Yeah, dude. And like the mega fans who are like, this is what I want to see. I'm gonna use C Dance or whatever the fuck it is now, dude, to like really make dude, C Dance is crazy how
It
fucking real it
is.
looks. Like it's
Even
so wild.
even before Sea Dance, I speaking of Jar Jar, I've seen videos of uh like if Jar Jar was revealed as a Sith Lord, and like it shows him like doing some wild stuff, and it's like, oh man, this would have been so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like after the scene with Mace, where Mace Windu dies, it's like revealed it
Hmm.
was the Jar Jar had to do with it. It was like, and then Dooku kneels before Jar Jar.
that's that's wild, man.
And his
uh,
voice, like when he's not acting like, oh hey yeah, he sounds normal. He just sounds like a Jamaican, like a
sounds
shot
more like
does,
Ahmed. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I'm glad that they gave. I'm glad that like Ahmed Best got a little bit of a redemption because like I think he got a lot of backlash because people hated Jar Jar so much. But so they were like, bro, we're gonna throw you a bone and you can be a Jedi just for a second.
I keep forgetting Jar Jar was a practical effect. It wasn't CGI.
Yeah, dude, like they had like Ahmed Best was like on set with like he had like a fucking pole that had like Jar Jar's head on it so that they knew where the eye line was. Very like Thanos kind of
I guess so. I
and
guess it
Hulk.
is
Yeah,
CGI in a
it's
way, but it's
yeah,
more
it's
like
like how
green
they do
screen
it now. Yeah, yeah.
rather
Probably
than just
laid the
straight CGI.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not quite as good of like the motion cap that they have now, but it was like the start of that.
Cool, man. Well, anything else you wanted to touch up on Darth
No,
Jar
I think
Jar?
no, I think that's kind of what I had on it. I just wanted to kind of go a little bit more in depth on it than we had on previous episodes.
I think we could both agree that the prequel, at the very least, would have made a lot more sense, especially in the first two episodes. And this was a huge missed opportunity
Yeah.
with with the prequels.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like I said, I think this recontextualized Phantom Menace into a much better film for me. So,
Well, next time you guys watch it, keep that in mind, and maybe it'll change the movie for you if you're not a huge
yep.
fan of it.
Yep. Well, all right guys, have a good week and if you haven't already, like and subscribe.